nabubuo ang isang star. So, eto, i-explain ko ngayon sa inyo kung ano nga ba ang unang stage sa life ng isang star. At ito ang nebula. So, ang unang stage sa isang life ng star ay ang nebula. Ano nga ba ang nebula? Ang nebula are made of dust and gases, mostly hydrogen and helium. Eventually, the clump of dust and gas gets so big that it collapses because of its own gravity. The collapse causes the materials at the center of the cloud to heat up, and this hot core is the beginning of a star. So, states na yung nebula daw or yung cloud ng dust and gas ang pinagmulan ng star. Dahil sa sobrang bigat nun, nakahatak siya ng own gravity niya at nagko-collapse sila, at yung materials na nag-collapse dun sa gitna ay yung sa gitna nung nebula, yun yung nagiging star. At ang example naman natin ng mga nebula are yung ring nebula, yung dumbbell nebula, yung helix nebula, and yung pinakasikat is yung Orion nebula or yung M42. So, ano nga ba ang susunod sa nebula? Ang susunod sa nebula ay yung protostar. Ano naman ang protostar? Siyempre, ipapaliwanag yan ang susunod na magsasalita. Thank you!
Next natin ay ang protostar. Ano nga ba ang protostar? It is an early age in the evolution of a star after the beginning of the collapse of the gas cloud from which it is formed. Sa madaling salita, ito yung primal stage ng star's life na kung saan nag-gather sila ng mass nila galing dun sa parent nila na tinatawag nating molecular cloud. It is also a cloud of gas sa space na pinaniniwalaan na magde-develop pa lang into a star.
So, sa main sequence naman tayo. Most stars are on the main sequence of the Hertzsprung-Russell diagram. So, stars are not randomly distributed across the HR diagram. But about 90% of all stars are on a narrow diagonal band running from the upper left corner of the HR diagram, which are the hot and the luminous stars, to the lower right corner, which are the cool and dim stars. So this diagonal band is called the main sequence. So when Hertzsprung and Russell independently but at the same time plotted visible stars on a graph comparing the brightness and colors of the stars, they found that majority of the stars fell on a roughly diagonal line. So this diagonal line is called the main sequence, and the stars on it are called dwarf stars. Our sun is an example of a star with a mass about low but lower than medium. So they stay on this line for billions of years until their hydrogen nuclear fuel is mostly used up.
Let's move on to red giant. A red giant is a luminous giant star of low or intermediate mass in a late phase of stellar evolution. The outer atmosphere is inflated and tenuous, making the radius large and the surface temperature around 5,000 Kelvin or 4,700 degrees Celsius or 8,500 in Fahrenheit or lower. So why do you think red giant are called red giant? As the hydrogen in the middle of the stars is depleted, the core of the star shrinks and heats, while the outer portion, atmosphere, which is mainly hydrogen, begins to expand. The star grows larger and brighter, and the surface temperature starts to cool, so it shines red.
So, andito naman ako ngayon para i-discuss ang white dwarf star. So, paano nga po ba na-perform ang white dwarf star? White dwarf star is what stars like the sun become after they have exhausted their nuclear fuel. So, near the end stage ng pag-exhaust, yung outer material ng star ay nag-exhaust, creating a new planetary nebula. Only the hot core of the star remains. So, yung pinaka-sentro nun, yung core, yun lang yung matitira. Tapos yung core na yun, merong temperature na nag-exceed ng 100,000 Kelvin. So, ang white dwarf star daw po ay nagko-cool down kapag merong accreting matter from nearby star. At nagko-cool down siya over billion years or so.
And now, I will explain how black dwarf is formed. So, the white dwarf remains hot for some time. Example na lang po, kapag pinatay natin yung stove burner, ay medyo mainit pa rin. And after an extremely long time, all of the leftover heat will radiated away. So, it is no longer emitting heat or light. Kaya po yung white dwarf ay magiging black dwarf. At dahil nga po it emits no radiation, posible na po itong makita. However, yung black dwarf po ay mareretain pa rin yung mass niya, na allowing scientists to detect the effects produced by its gravitational field. Black dwarfs takes quadrillions of years to form. At less than 14 billions of years old, the universe is still too young to have created any black dwarfs.
Do you know what is black hole? A black hole is an space that have a gravitational field so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape it. That's why black hole appears black. In some cases, black holes are former massive stars that have been crushed to an extreme density during a supernova explosion. Alam niyo ba na ang simula ng buhay ng isang black hole ay ang kamatayan? Nakakalito, no? Ganito yan. Nabuo ang isang black hole sa kamatayan ng isang massive star. Nung namatay na yung massive star, yung mga remnant nito ang bumuo ng isang black hole.
The life cycle of a star can be compared to the life cycle of a person. A star is formed from dust particles and gases. These are loose particles that are gradually pulled together. Then it gives birth to the protostar. The protostar spins until it accumulates heat and energy to bring life to the next stage. In the same way, the fetus is also formed by also pulling things together. Once a sperm enters the female organ, it travels all the way to find the egg cell, and then both pull themselves together until the fetus is formed. The fetus will be spinning inside the womb to form itself and prepare itself for the next life stage that awaits. Once the protostar accumulates heat, the main sequence star is formed. This is the fullness stage of a star, full of heat and energy. It converts hydrogen from its core to helium. Compared to humans, a fetus comes from its mother's womb. Then a baby is born. The baby is nourished and becomes a toddler who will then grow up as an adult in time. As the person grows, he tries to realize all the inner potentials that he has within. The stages from childhood to adulthood are also the stage where the person is full of energy and is at his peak to be productive and achieve their dreams. Going back to the life of stars, the main sequence star will be in the stage for long until the supply of hydrogen runs out. This will reduce its heat and its glow. Comparing it to humans, the grown-up adult will also reach his peak and continue working out his dreams. But as time passes by, the adult will age. Their energy will gradually weaken and they will no longer be able to do what they used to do in their youth easily. Here, the person enters the red giant stage. They remain big and strong, but not as strong as before. Physical stature and beauty that come with his youth will also diminish as the physical strength dwindles and aging on his body manifests. The person will grow old. The once superior person and all his young self's greatness will be a thing of his past. The aforementioned is comparable to the white dwarf or degenerate dwarf. It still glows but faintly since it emits light not from nuclear fusion but its stored energy. The old human self, although physically weaker, remains to have a glorious stance with all the character that he has formed through the years. While he is no longer able to do all the things in the past, he remains to bring all the successes he has achieved. After the white dwarf completely depletes its reserves of thermal energy, it becomes a black dwarf, which represents the end of a life cycle, that is death.
So, ayan, nandito na kami